So I'd like to start with the current situation. The funding for the bill, especially the part that covers the PPP and what is known as the EIDL, and I'll be talking about these in detail in a few minutes, but the funding for that was exhausted last week. I think they had allocated about $350 billion. There was a huge demand for it, and in about 2 weeks, they run out of money. So that left everybody with a big question mark as to, okay, so what do we do now? Now, Congress has been debating in the past few days how to handle the situation, and I believe last night the Senate approved it, and I believe tomorrow the House is going to vote on it sometime in the afternoon. The expectation is that the House will approve the bill. But that is just that. It's an expectation. We are in a time of uncertainty, and unfortunately, there is a political uncertainty component to this. So I can only give you the expectations. And again, if the House approves it, and we expect it will, the president is expected to sign this. However, there's a couple things to keep in mind. The funding that has been approved is about $320 billion, which is a little bit less than was approved last time. The expectation is that that funding is going to last about 10 days, assuming the current rate. Unfortunately, I don't think that expectation is necessarily going to pan out, because they're not taking into consideration that during this time period between the loans being exhausted last week and today, a lot of lenders have still been taking a backlog of applications. They've just processed the applications and hang on to them, and they're waiting for the SBA to reopen the process so that they can submit it. So I assume that once they open the process, the funding may last less than 10 days because of that. So unfortunately, that leaves you in an interesting position, or an uncomfortable position, I should say, because you're going to have to make a very quick decision regarding if this is the funding that you want to pursue. And if you choose to pursue it, you're going to need to move very quickly. Otherwise, there's a risk that you could be left without funding, as many companies were left without funding through the past few days. To make matters even more complex, some politicians are already making statements about not approving any further financing unless there are meetings and unless some objectives are met. So there's a lot of uncertainty with regards to this financing. So this is one thing that you have to keep in mind through this process, which unfortunately only makes it harder.